One of the most cherished voices in modern American mainstream and Christian music is Amy Grant. Her singing, faith, and genuineness have influenced millions of people for over 40 years. But beneath the accolades, sold-out tours, and #1 albums, Amy's life has been filled with hardships, including emotional difficulties, health issues, and extremely intimate marital difficulties. Her tale is one of faith and tenacity in the face of adversity, as well as of finding grace again when things don't go as planned. Born in Augusta, Georgia, on November 25, 1960, Amy Lee Grant spent her childhood in Nashville, Tennessee, the center of American music. Being the youngest of 4 daughters, she grew up in a pious Christian home, and her faith played a crucial role in her development. She recorded a basic demo tape for fun and penned her first song at the age of 15, which led to her discovery. As soon as word got out, she joined with the contemporary Christian music label Myrrh Records in 1977. Her career that would eventually unite Christian and mainstream pop music began in 1978 with the release of her self-titled debut album, Amy Grant. With albums like Age to Age and Straight Ahead, which won her Grammy Awards and cemented her status as a pioneer in the genre, Amy rose to fame in the Christian music industry in the 1980s. With singles like Baby Baby, Every Heartbeat, and That's What Love Is For, her 1991 album Heart in Motion propelled her to new heights. But popularity had its advantages as well as disadvantages. Amy would be put to the test in ways she could never have predicted due to the demands of success, fan expectations, and the need to maintain her faith while reaching a larger audience. Juggling family, fame, and faith. In 1982, Amy wed fellow Christian musician Gary Chapman during her early career. Together, they raised 3 children, wrote music, and shared both personal and professional lives. From the outside, it appeared to be the ideal match of 2 gifted musicians brought together by their shared faith and love of music. However, the truth behind the spotlight was far more nuanced. Amy's marriage started to suffer as her career took off due to the responsibilities of touring and celebrity. During this period, Chapman also battled emotional problems and substance abuse, which strained their relationship. In the meantime, Amy was juggling motherhood, her celebrity, and her developing perception that she and her husband were emotionally and spiritually moving away. Amy and Gary's marriage was severely strained by the late 1990s. They separated in 1999 after being together for about 17 years. Parts of the Christian community, where divorce was frequently viewed negatively, particularly among prominent religious individuals, bitterly criticized the split. Amy characterized this period as one of introspection, remorse, and rejuvenation. She later stated in interviews that she relied a lot on prayer and the conviction that even our darkest wounds are healed by God's grace. She thought, life can still be full of beauty and purpose, even though it doesn't always go the way we planned. Marriage to Vince Gill. Love and rebirth. Amy, who had known Vince Gill for a number of years through the Nashville music scene, wed the legendary country music artist in 2000. As they collaborated on the 1994 recording of the song House of Love, their friendship grew. At the time, both were experiencing personal difficulties. Vince's marriage to singer Janice Oliver was also coming to an end, and they found solace and understanding in one another's presence. Amy and Vince have both insisted that they were just 2 people who connected after years of shared experiences, despite the suspicions and criticism surrounding their relationship. Since then, the pair has been candid about the difficulties of integrating families and overcoming past heartbreaks. In addition to Amy's 3 children from her first marriage and Vince's daughter from his prior relationship, they have 1 daughter, Karina, who was born in 2001. Amy and Vince have performed together at concerts, award ceremonies, and charitable events over the years, frequently highlighting the value of love, forgiveness, and faith in their relationship. Amy frequently compliments her husband's humor and patience, while Vince once referred to her as the glue that holds everything together. However, they have encountered their fair share of difficulties, particularly after Amy's health started to deteriorate. Health challenges. the unexpected path to healing. Later in life, long after her years of greatest prominence, Amy Grant had her biggest health challenges. Amy was diagnosed with partial anomalous pulmonary venous return, PAPVR, an uncommon congenital cardiac abnormality, in 2020 during a routine examination. She had unwittingly been born with an abnormality that caused part of the blood veins in her heart to be improperly joined. In June 2020, a few months into the worldwide COVID-19 outbreak, she had open heart surgery. Although the operation went well, the healing process was difficult and drawn out. Amy subsequently claimed that the encounter fundamentally altered her perspective on life. In interviews, she said, "I felt like I was given a second chance. My heart feels like it was physically and spiritually renewed." However, another health setback occurred just as she started to restore her strength. Amy was involved in a severe bicycle accident in Nashville in July of 2022. Despite wearing a helmet, she was rendered unconscious for around 10 minutes and sustained numerous scrapes, bruises, and a concussion. The fallout was challenging. For months following the crash, she battled exhaustion, memory impairments, and balance challenges. She was forced to postpone her concert tour and take a long vacation from performing after her physicians recommended her to relax and limit her activities. Later on, Amy talked candidly about the psychological and emotional costs of healing. She admitted, "There were days when I didn't recognize myself. I had to retrain myself in basic skills like word recall, focus, and body trust." During this period, Vince Gill, her husband, became her unwavering support system. Throughout her recovery, he took care of her, and at performances, he even dedicated songs to her. Vince's performance of "When My Amy Prays," a song he penned about her faith and impact on his life, was one especially moving moment. Amy sobbed when she heard it live for the first time, claiming that it served as a reminder of how patience and love can mend even the most severe wounds. Belief in the face of adversity. Amy Grant's faith has served as both her compass and her anchor throughout her life. She never wavered from her convictions, despite criticism for entering the mainstream of popular music. Rather, she frequently stated that her goal was to share lessons of grace and hope with those who might never enter a church. But, with time, her spiritual path has changed. Amy encountered criticism from conservative Christian supporters who believed she had deviated from conventional teachings following her divorce and second marriage. Amy, however, adopted a more expansive perspective on faith, one that was based on love, acceptance, and authenticity, instead of withdrawing. Amy has also started to promote inclusivity within the Christian community in more recent years, prioritizing compassion over condemnation. She has discussed the value of accepting everyone into the religious community and sponsored LGBTQ+ family gatherings on her Tennessee property. She has received both acclaim and criticism for her position, but she is unwavering in her conviction that love is the highest calling. Her testimony has been reinforced by her ability to bounce back from personal struggles and health issues. Amy frequently claims that the messy, lovely truth of human life, rather than perfection, is where she found the depth of God's grace through her difficulties. A new perspective and the return to music. Amy resumed performing in late 2022 and early 2023, following months of recuperation following her cycling accident. Even more emotional weight was carried by her voice, which was soulful, sweet, and somewhat altered by years of experience. The bright, happy vocalist of Baby Baby was no longer the Amy that audiences saw. Instead, they saw a woman who had endured hardship and emerged stronger. She worked on a number of new projects, including a Christmas tour with Vince Gill, after releasing Led Me On Live in 1989. Gratitude and humility permeated every performance. She said to her audience, "It feels like a gift every time I step on stage now. I don't take anything for granted." These days, themes of recovery, forgiveness, and rejuvenation may be heard in her songs, as she continues to live out the faith she writes about. Songs like Better Than a Hallelujah and Don't Try So Hard have taken on new significance. These difficult times have further strengthened her bond with Vince. When life throws curveballs at you, you see the best and worst in each other, she remarked. But love is about showing up every single day, not about perfection. Takeaways from Amy Grant's experience. Amy Grant's life is a tapestry of both success and adversity. Despite public scrutiny, personal tragedy, and severe health scares, she nevertheless exudes elegance and positivity. Several significant lessons can be learned from her story. Faith is not brittle. After a storm, it will continue to shine brightly. Healing is a process rather than an event. True rehabilitation requires love and time, whether one is recovering from surgery, an accident, or a broken heart. Love changes throughout time. The union of Amy and Vince demonstrates that enduring love is based on tolerance, forgiving, and vulnerability. Pain is the source of purpose. Amy's experiences have enhanced her creativity and empathy, enabling her to relate to others across genres and ideologies. Amy has persisted in singing about redemption and hope despite every setback, reminding both her audience and herself that grace is possible even during the most trying times in life. A graceful legacy. Amy Grant is still a potent representation of tenacity and sincerity today. She still tours, records, and promotes topics that are important to her, such as faith-based compassion and mental health awareness. She speaks with the insight of a 65-year-old who has experienced both stardom and vulnerability. Her heart, which was once literally mended, is stronger than ever. Her poems continue to inspire, and her laughter still fills rooms. She once remarked, "I don't know what the future holds, but I know who holds the future. That's sufficient for me." Amy Grant's life is much more than the culmination of her hardships. It is a live example of the healing, restorative, and unwavering power of faith, love, and grace.